Well, the key highlights of my transition are obviously my work. Obviously, that's something I always value because not all people like me would be given such an opportunity to work professionally, still within how they were before their transition. And I'm thankful to the school that actually extended that kindness and generosity to me, and to my current employer, obviously, who was very instrumental in accommodating me, making me feel fully transitioned. Because when I'm at work, no one calls me, no one misgenders me, because no one knows that I am a transgender at work. And that's basically because the way I think, because the way I look, it's not an issue already, because both of my bosses were admirers of my beauty, so to speak, at the start of the interview. Because I had to explain my predicament, and tell them, actually I told them that I'm teaching, and that's why I'm applying for work, is because honestly I didn't expect that I would be teaching again, because I've already set my mind. It's very difficult. It is very difficult for the students. Obviously, perhaps if the students are new and they would be meeting me for the first time, then it's okay. But me, being their professor before as a male, and then now as a female, might be very uncomfortable for them. And that's why I'm very thankful for the kids, although they had an evaluation already, and my evaluation was relatively positive, although there were a few comments, you cannot please everyone. But on a general level, it was positive. That's one of the highlights of this year, and I'm very thankful. Financially, the job was very rewarding. I'm able to finance the things that I need to do to live my life as a woman, and prepare for the things that I need to do to fully be a woman. And that is the end goal, actually. Another milestone, without work, actually, I would not be able to live here, living on my own, although it's an adjustment. I have to do everything. When I was with my mom, I kind of been dependent on her, because if you do something that she doesn't like, she has to repeat it. So and then it will be an issue. So it might as well allow her just to do it, so there won't be an issue. So that's my approach. But living alone is kind of nice, and I wouldn't. I don't want to live on my own forever, but I am praying, and hopefully someone will come into my life and be a part of my life, and I won't be alone anymore. The milestone is actually closure of the closure of the event in 2013 that triggered all of this, actually. Being able to realize and recognize that there was semblance of reality to what was happening at that time, and to really know that that was something that was real at the time is something obviously you feel frustrated. Why? Because you walk away. I walked away, and now it's no longer possible because the person is married, and that provided closure, actually, because of all the persons that I was attached to, I never though the connection with him was very, very strongest thus far, or during at that time. he was the strongest that I had a connection with. I really felt that I knew him, and it was a wonderful experience. And to realize that there was semblance of reality to all those events that happened in 2013 is something to be grateful for, and consoling at least for losing someone that is, I think, someone that I would always would want to be with. And he's a very, although his reputation doesn't say that, but for me he was a very sensitive, very kind, very soft-spoken person. He hardly gets angry when I'm around, and I really felt that we had a connection. That's the thing. And the only problem is I was committed to a cause at that time, and that cause precluded me from staying there where he was, and that's why I had to leave the place because of my cause. And although that cause, I'm no longer bound to it, and that's why I had to go back to him to see if there's still a possibility. And unfortunately, he had moved on, and then he is happily married now, and that's a highlight of this year actually for me, because it's always a nag on my part. It was always a nag on my part. It's like something hanging over my mind, my head, and everything. To put closure to it is something that I always wanted, and I'm happy for him, and I think he's very happy, and he wouldn't say that if he wasn't. And hopefully I'll see him, and I don't know how will I react when I see him, and I don't know how he will react when he sees me. So, and then the next one is the decision of going full blown to becoming a woman. And after the transition, there is an option always not to go fully, or meaning surgery, or just living out as a woman, and having still your genitals there. But that was something that I had to decide already, because you have to commit resources, you have to plan, you have to do all these things, and you cannot just do that snap of a finger. You have to really prepare for it, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, physically. And that's why I had to make the decision, and that was last February. And the decision was I'm going for it. I think that's the destination actually, and I would not want. I could not live my life without first finishing going to that level, or reaching that destination. And that's why decisions have already been made, and now I solicit your prayers for the funding, because it's not cheap to have that the theological reservation that I had has already been resolved. I consulted not a lot, but several persons, and plus my consultation before, and all of them are, and obviously I consulted him. Okay, and let's see if it's really meant to be. And perhaps after my surgery, I will make a video again to share the experience and everything, and I will again share that it's his hand again. That's how he works actually. In my life, he used to really see his hand. In my journey, in different countries, I journey not alone. It's always with me. There was an incident when I was in Mount Sinai. I made a wrong turn. I did not expect, because I saw people going to that entrance or exit. I expected that it would be easy, and all of a sudden I realized that it's difficult, and I could not go back because it's too difficult climbing, and going down it's difficult. And I said to the Lord there, if I don't make it, meaning this is it, and help me out, because I was so afraid, because it's a slopey, Mount Sinai. If you see the picture, there is this two stone together. That's where I went down, and you see how steep that is, and I couldn't believe that I made it without even a scratch. Although I was dirty, obviously, because I had to, slide my butt in some situation, because there's no, you cannot go facing. You have to go, sliding, or else if you go facing, you might not see the front, and you might get into an accident. So basically that's it. So moving forward, it's a highlight, and it's a decision that is not easy to make, and now everything is directed to that destination. I hope that you all pray for me, and I raise the money that I need, so that before this year end, I would be able to have the surgery that I need to be fully her, and no more waking up in the morning and you see those things, and you just tolerate it. But sometimes it's difficult also, because when you're living it out of it, and it's difficult, and that's why I think I really have to have that surgery. And then another milestone, or highlight, actually, not milestone, highlight of me is also moving forward with, the guy that the guy that I mentioned to you, that was I was hooked up or hang up with, although I hadn't had even an opportunity to talk to this person or spend time with this person. But that's what is so weird about these things. It's like we connected, and our connection is far more stronger than the one that got away, so to speak. His connection is far stronger than his before, because he was the only one. So in 2013 he was the strongest, but this one in 2019, actually it was May also, that happened, the connection, and it was so strong. And it's been almost 2 years, more than 2 years actually, and it's still, it's hard to get over it. It's an attachment. It's not built on something tangible, because we had no encounter. I term it always as an encounter, because I didn't meet him, because to meet someone is to talk, to converse, but I did not have that opportunity. The only thing I had was an encounter, encountering him in a place where I frequently was at that time, and basically that's it. And that's the only thing that I had, and all of a sudden I was so emotionally attached to it, as if a part of me is connected to it. That's so weird, honestly. But I'm moving forward. I've come to accept and realize that reality is the best policy. You cannot go by with these things. It's something so virtual. And though it's mystical in so many ways, it's beautiful. The experience is very beautiful. although he was not the first who can have done that, because I mentioned to you in 2013, the one that got away was the strongest at that time. And it was a very beautiful experience. But the problem with this one, I could not appreciate this one because I was hooked up with someone else at that time in 2019. So I tend to push this person away, or the opportunity to know him, the opportunity to see him, because I initiated efforts to be away of that place, so that I won't have the opportunity to see him, because I wanted it to go away, to fade away. But it took about more than a year before it eventually started to die down. And I took all the effort to, and because I was very much attached to someone who is not available and who did not exhibit the same connection with me. I used him actually as a escape route, or a rebound, so that I could escape the guy that got away, because I felt I was really being so attached emotionally to him, and I need something to divert my attachment, my attention, my emotion away from him, the one that got away. And the only viable person at that time was this person, and I did not expect that it would result to something like that. It's something. It's beautiful, but it's virtual again, because it's something that cannot go beyond it, And I myself would not be able to forgive myself. It does, and that's why I initiated again measures to, nip it in the bud and have it, But the problem is it didn't go away, It endured for what? How many years? 2013. The next one is that person, 2019, so 6 years almost. So that's the problem with me. When I get attached to someone, it takes me a long time to get over that person. And hopefully I'm over, and that's why I'm praying for someone to really come and be it, not like those, like the one that got away, because the one that got away is more or less real in so many ways, because there were real events or encounters that I really felt that I connect with him, and we talk and we spend time at least, because there was an opportunity for us to be together, and you could feel, I could never ever feel that way again. I feel so safe with him, as if nothing can hurt me, and that's how I felt about him. And when I'm with him, it's like I feel so safe, and that's the thing. That's why, as I mentioned to you, he is the only guy that I would want to be with, because I feel so safe with him, honestly. And the connection that we had was very strong also. It's virtual and physical also at the same time, because we encounter each other daily and see each other, talk to each other, and smile at each other, hear each other's voice in so many ways. And that's basically, something that is real, at least. Although I'm not too sure at that time that it was the same. It was only now that the feeling was somewhat mutual in so many ways. But at that time, no. That's why I wanted it to be that way, so that I could, because if I knew that the feeling was mutual, I might not have left also, because he's a very handsome guy. He's a very good-looking guy. He's a very self-made man already at his age, you just liked him, when you see him. When he smiles, actually his smiles is what gets me and kills me, and really captures me. When he makes that smile to me, and when he asks something, oh my gosh, it's like, it's aphrodisiac. So that is basically the highlight of my life. Now, the challenges ahead, I don't call them challenges, but milestone to achieve is, that I mentioned, the surgery that I'll be having, and then obviously the person that who would be joining me in my life, which I'm praying for daily, and I'm hopeful that he doesn't get stranded by the pandemic, by the quarantine, and then obviously putting up a life and living a life, a fulfilled life. And I know the Lord would always give me what I need if it's really meant for me, and that's how I see things. If it's not meant for me, it won't happen, and this thing, the mere fact that it has transpired, the mere fact that such events have happened, is an evidence that, to me at least, that his yes that he made known to me was really a yes, and perhaps it was that yes that he was just waiting for, because I was reluctant, honestly, because when this happened in 2013, which was triggered by the one who got away, I was hesitant to say yes to it, pursuing this and living. I got used to conform, and perhaps I do not want to undergo or to experience this journey, and yet, it remained in my mind, in my heart, and it never left me. And even though the one got away already, it's not anymore about him, okay? And he was only instrumental in awakening that part of me, that has slept already, but the journey continues, and I know the one that will come will not get away anymore. And with that, I thank you for spending time in listening to this sharing. I know it's a bit long, but it's all about God and how He has actually blessed me, how He actually is sustaining me in this journey. And hopefully when the person that I'm praying for comes, I would be joining he would be joining me in a video to thank him also that we found each other already. And with that, I thank you all for listening, and have a blessed day. Happy Pentecost. Ta-ta.